So the purpose of the Young Alumni Award at McPherson College is to recognize achievement and potential for accomplishment of the McPherson College Young Alumni. So the nominees should exhibit 2 or more of the following criteria: significant accomplishments towards professional goals, service to others, service to church, alumni participation, and support. Coach, would you present our first award recipient?
Ryan Wenzel came to McPherson College to play basketball. He is now the Vice Chairman and Director of North American Operations of Covalix, a company he co-founded. Covalix is a company that develops and produces a detector system for machines called mass spectrometers. For me to describe what a mass spectrometer actually does would be an injustice to Ryan, now Dr. Wenzel, and his company. But in a nutshell, a mass spectrometer is a scientific instrument that measures how much a molecule weighs. Ryan's detectors allow these instruments to measure much larger molecules than ever before. This allows researchers to study things like how multiple proteins are interacting in the body or aid pharmaceutical companies doing drug development. When I visited with Ryan about his experience at McPherson College, he reflected on the great times he had playing basketball and the relationships he built while being a Bulldog. Ryan actually started out as majoring in business, but quickly changed to chemistry after his freshman year. He said, "My father and grandfather owned a salvage yard, and I always enjoyed tearing things apart and putting them back together. I saw some of those same types of things in chemistry and always enjoyed science." Towards the end of his senior year, Ryan wasn't sure of his future, and a fellow student suggested he consider graduate school. At that time, each department had postcards from institutions near their classrooms, and Ryan took all he could and mailed them off for information. After being accepted into a number of graduate programs, he settled on the University of California, Riverside because of the quick relationship he built with Dr. Kimberly Prather. When Dr. Prather took another position at the University of California, San Diego, Ryan transferred and completed his master's and doctorate degrees in analytical chemistry. An opportunity to go to Switzerland to work and study became available after graduation, and Ryan, newly married, took advantage. While in Switzerland, he had the opportunity to play professional basketball while developing his current ideas in mass spectrometry. Eventually, his company was formed in Switzerland, and he continues to work with partners in Zurich. I visited with Coach Roger Trimmel, who was Ryan's basketball coach while at McPherson, and Coach Trimmel's first line was, "Ryan's favorite shot was the dunk." Coach Trimmel was extremely complimentary of Ryan and his academic and athletic prowess while here at McPherson College. When I asked Ryan about memories, he said, "I remember a time when Coach Trimmel took me out of a game after I missed a dunk. And our assistant coach, Dave Barrett, told me, 'Ryan, you can just lay the ball in and it counts the same as a dunk.'" That made me, as Ryan said, that made me so mad, I wanted to tear the rim off every time I got the ball after that. I first got to know Ryan about 5 years ago when he contacted me about potential players to play in Switzerland. Ryan played professionally while in Switzerland and remains close with former coaches and players in his professional league and wanted to help a Bulldog if he could. Since then, he and I continue to talk, and Ryan indicated he still checks the website frequently to keep abreast as what is happening at McPherson College. Ryan is celebrating his 15th reunion this homecoming weekend. Ryan currently lives in Melrose, Massachusetts, a suburb of Boston, with his wife Megan, who was his girlfriend during his entire time here at McPherson, and 3 daughters. It is an honor for me to present to you this day Dr. Ryan Wenzel for this Young Alumni Award.
I'm not Jim Dodson, sorry. One of my lasting memories of Jenny Williams as a student at McPherson College was during a rehearsal for a Broadway review, and she was sitting at a piano about right there. My 4-year-old daughter had been attending rehearsals, enthralled by this young woman at the piano. And after a conversation about one of the musical numbers, or a cut or a change in tempo, it was time to start and to try it again. Without any prompting and just on cue, we heard the young but authoritative voice, "Hit it, Jenny!" That became the standard phrase for the rest of those rehearsals and for years to come. "Hit it, Jenny!" And whether at the direction of a 4-year-old, or an English professor's assignment, or a major donor's request, or a choir director's nod, Jenny Williams has been hitting it and leaving her extraordinary mark on our world for over 25 years. Her years at McPherson College prepared her for a life that reflects the interconnectedness of her passions: church, music, travel, and academics. Oh yes, and the theater. It is difficult to compartmentalize her story into neat little paragraphs such as Jenny and the church, or Jenny and music, or Jenny and her career. They all blend together so naturally. Jenny in the church would include Jenny also playing the piano, or accompanying a choir, or a soloist, or a trio, and not only for her local church, but for the national church at annual conference. Her academic tenure as an undergraduate included English, but also music and travel. She accompanied the college choir while a student and played for many musicals, as well as spending a semester overseas in Cheltenham, England. And her jobs have always had that connection to the church. And whether she was working for a Christian publishing house or a Church of the Brethren college or seminary, that tie to the church is still present. Jenny Williams has mastered the art of blending career and vocation with passion. Hailing from Mount Morris, Illinois, Jenny never really questioned where she would be going to college. She is the 4th generation from her family to attend Mac College. The connections to her family and church were a natural choice. Beyond the family history, however, at McPherson College, she gained skills she says she didn't even know she possessed, and a greater confidence and a larger worldview. Her involvement in journalism, theater, and music has served her well as she moved on. After graduating summa cum laude with a degree in English in 1988, Jenny secured a job that blended her academic pursuit with her strong connection to the church. She spent over 5 years working for Christian publishers, Scripture Press, and Tyndale House Publishers as a proofreader, assistant to the publicist, catalog coordinator, and assistant book marketing manager, helping them in the transition into the digital age. She then returned to McPherson College to work in institutional advancement, where she served for 14 years. Her job focused on managing database systems, campaign logistics and events, and donor relations. Quietly and efficiently working in the background, almost shunning any recognition of what she accomplished, she epitomizes the phrase, the unsung hero. She became very knowledgeable about the constituency of McPherson College, and her numerous handwritten thank you notes are still being talked about by college friends, alumni, and donors. But the best thing about it all is that she truly enjoyed working in higher education. And I quote from the mouth of Jenny, "Faculty, students, and staff learn and work together and share life experiences, and it's all for the betterment of the student and the world they will serve," end quote. But alongside all that job stuff for the college, she also managed to find time to accompany the women's trio, Inspire, and they cut 2 albums, or 3 or 2. She accompanied more than 20 musicals, whether it was here at the college or at the high school or community theater. And she kept her interest in theater, being involved as an actress in many productions. She was part of the 2002 alumni production, The Octet Bridge Club. Oh yes, and that little 4-year-old girl, she accompanied her senior recital in 2003. During her tenure at the college, she also continued her love of travel. In fact, some of her most memorable experiences came far from the campus, as she had the opportunity to travel and visit other cultures. Jenny has visited every continent except Antarctica and Australia while on trips with Herb and Gene Smith. The list includes Peru, Egypt, Greece, India, Thailand, Cambodia, Turkey, Israel, China, And in addition to Herb's academic tours, she also spent 2 summers in Europe with the college choir as their accompanist. In 2008, she moved on to Bethany Seminary in Richmond, Indiana, blending her love of the academic world with her commitment to the church. She currently serves as the Director of Communications and Alumni Relations. Her work is diverse: writing, designing, taking leadership roles on numerous committees, and coordinating the various projects that come across her desk. In all of her work, she sought out a sense of community and family. In her own words, "It's not just a job where I go to the office and do my work, and I don't really have a connection with other people. I want a place that lives out its values and that has values that I share." She continues to play the piano for church and community events, and just told me at lunch that she accompanied a production of Hairspray just last summer. Okay. Those individuals who are awarded this honor have distinguished themselves in their career, alumni, community service, service to the church. Without a doubt, Jenny Williams has truly distinguished herself in all these areas, and usually at the same time. Those of us who were present when Jenny was a student and then later worked alongside her at McPherson like to think we had some small part in helping to create this woman that has been so generous with her time and her gifts. But in truth, Jenny had a major part in shaping us. President Snyder, it is with pride and pleasure I present Jenny Williams as a recipient.
Dallas Blacklock graduated from McPherson College in 2003 with a degree in philosophy and religion and a master's degree at Sam Houston State University in educational administration in 2008. Dallas currently serves as the director of high school relations for the University of Houston's football program. Prior to serving in his current role at the University of Houston, Dallas was a teen leadership teacher in the Houston Independent School District and head coach at his alma mater, Sharpstown High School. Dallas also serves as a sponsor for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, very active in the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, and founder of and president of Be a Man Ministries. I first met Dallas Blacklock in Dotzer Hall in the fall of 1999. Remember that, with Fort Worth? All right. And from that time I met him, I knew that I was speaking with a man. May have been a man on a 5'8" body, but an 18-year-old man nonetheless. A man that had ideas, plans that always included serving others. What I remember most about Dallas and what I know about him and what I know him to be is not a standout student athlete from yesteryear, but a standout leader that helped a minority student organization known as Music, along with his wife, Ebony. Minorities United Spiritually, Inspired Collectively. Dallas played an instrumental role in developing relationships and hosting events with minority leaders on neighboring campuses. Dallas stated that the McPherson College experience taught me the epitome of service. One of the most memorable moments was when I had the opportunity to serve at the San Antonio Catholic Worker House. It is experiences like this that help me prepare me for my ministry. It is with great pleasure that I present Dallas Blacklock for the Young Alumni Award.
I'm curious, what impacted your experience at McPherson College? Who, and maybe who's a better way to ask that? And you guys can answer in any order.
You want to go?
Tallest to shortest.
Tallest to shortest?
I'll go first. First of all, good afternoon to you all. I have so many people that impacted my life here at McPherson, beginning with Dave Barrett, Dr. Els. I know I saw her somewhere. There she is. Dr. Els, Carolyn Kuhn was here, Manny Diaz, Herb Smith. Oh my God, where's Herb Smith? I mean, he was my professor in so many different classes. So I had so many different people that impacted, but the football program probably was one that definitely, I was an athlete, so, you know, I was kind of one of those jocks, but Herb helped as well.
You or me? Okay, go for it.
I would have to say who didn't impact me at McPherson College. Some of the names that came to mind were Dr. Lee Lengel, Dr. Herb Smith, Stephanie Grauber, Rick Tyler, Corinne Eubanks. Some of those names probably not familiar to most of you. I truly appreciated the chance to not only be a student with these people, but then to come back and work alongside them as a colleague, which took me a little getting used to, but they welcomed me as a colleague, and many of them are still my friends. So I'm grateful for that.
Am I on? Yep. Yeah, so I think actually what Jenny touched on is kind of the same sentiment that I have. I mean, there's obviously numerous professors. I mean, Dan Hoffman, Adele, and Herb as well. I remember taking world religions. I remember as well the basketball program was a really strong center for me. At the time, it was Coach Trimble. And at the time, it was Coach Dave Barrett. And those were, I mean, extremely important centers for me, but I think really the most impactful who was everybody. The sense of community, and especially going out after to bigger universities, you don't get the sense of community and the connection that I was able to establish here at McPherson.
So what about these experiences did you take away, and what'd you do with it? What advice would you give them while they're here?
Me or me? We're going to go this end?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that sticks with me. Well, listening to Jenny's award and the interactions she had, I feel one thing. And looking back, I feel like to be involved. I was involved with the basketball. I was involved a little with track and with the professors and the school. And but I almost wish I was more involved. And now, I mean, I want to be more involved and take advantage of the opportunity while you're here. Really get involved in. I mean, I wish I was in theater, which I would have never thought when I was here. But now looking back, I mean, what I missed is just incredible. And to really take advantage when you're here. I mean, that's something that you really have at McPherson. I can guarantee you that you don't have at a lot of other places. The ability to really get involved and get intermingled and make relationships that are going to affect the rest of your life.
That question came in for Dallas. If you're on the fence with a philosophy and religion major or minor, what would you tell these students?
If I'm on the fence, you definitely want to major in philosophy and religion.
Why?
You don't want to minor in it. For me, it's life. It's about ministry. The reason why I came to McPherson was because of the philosophy and religion program in itself, and also with the opportunity to be able to play football. But it prepared me for so many different opportunities. The opportunity to travel to San Antonio, Texas, to work in San Antonio Catholic Worker House and serve people who didn't have shoes, didn't have clothes, didn't have food to eat. That all came through the philosophy and religious department.
There are opportunities that you have in college that you may never have again, or will be very difficult to have again. And the years go by so fast. There are travel chances, there are service opportunities that was not as much a part of my experience here as it is now, that Dallas mentioned. Things that you haven't tried before, trying out for a sport, writing for the paper. This is the place where you can do that. And you might find something that you can do that you didn't know you loved so much.
I was in graduate school, or a postdoc in Switzerland, and we were doing some research that seemed interesting. And we just said, me and another postdoc said, do you think people would actually buy this? And surprisingly, they actually would. And, and it's continued to go since then. I mean, I wasn't planning on starting, really, I wasn't planning on, especially in Switzerland of all, why would I start a business in Switzerland? But, it just happened. We didn't think we would. I remember saying, do you think we'll sell 5 of these? Do you think we'll make $1 million or whatever? And it just keeps,
Tell us about, you guys, the three of you, tell us about something you like. I think this is a question. You like that we're doing now, and why? And why do you think it's important that we're doing it?
One of the things that I see that's being done now, the enrollment is definitely increased since I was here. The other thing was the master's in education. I think if that would have been an opportunity available for me, that's something that I would have done when I was here. I had to go to Sam Houston State, a humongous university that I never even saw the university until I graduated. Because I took like all online courses and all these cohorts and all these, I never even saw my professors. But that would have been a great opportunity to have 10 years ago when I was here, and I would have definitely took advantage of that.
I would say the structured service program is a great thing, and I understand that there are a certain number of requirements that you have to have in service while you're a student. I think it's a great way to see what's going on, and not just in other countries, but in our own country and the needs that are here. So I think that's a good program.
One of the things that I am very impressed with recently is some of the things I've learned from you, President Schneider, is the focus on entrepreneurship that's coming through in some of the extracurricular programs and in some of the classes as well. The micro grant systems that you guys have, I mean, that's a really cool opportunity to, maybe actually do something that'll be relevant. I mean, maybe you guys will start your own business. It's exactly the same thing as what I was doing. I mean,
About what do you wish you would have done? A couple of you have asked that one. Good question.
Well, I mean, for me, as I said before, I think just in general being more involved. Looking back, I mean, I remember the chemistry courses, and I remember I was a chemistry major and a math minor, but I really remember, the more obscure classes seemed to make. I remember Dan Hoffman's class. I remember the nutrition class I took from him. I remember very specifically one of the first things he said.
Dan Hoffman got really excited about that.
Yeah.
I wish you could all see his face.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't tied to, I mean, it was one of those things that, I mean, you guys know what I'm saying. One of these classes that you have to take here at McPherson College that's, like it's not part of chemistry, but I had to take it. I had to take world religions from her. I remember, draw a picture of God. Like, what? I really remember that. I remember Dan Hoffman, teach steroids. The reason steroids are used because they work, and but like that honesty, and then of course there was other things on top of that. But getting outside of the chemistry department and I took German while I was here. I took piano. I took and I wish I would have done more of that.
You have one, Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay, please.
I was one that I wish I would have taken, I guess, my education a little bit more seriously. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but
so do you have a message to?
Yeah, I do have a message.
Okay. I knew you would. I'm just trying to say, yeah, man.
I mean,
something about academics.
Yeah, something about academics. I was one of those guys. I wanted to get an A or B, but I wasn't really concerned about actually learning the content, which is probably 45% of the young students in here doing the same thing. They just want to get the A or the B. But it was after I made the dean's list that I realized I actually need to learn this stuff. Like, it'll actually help if I learn my craft. And as you get out into, the real world and you grow up and you started working, it's those people who are experts in their crafts who are the ones that are making money. It's those people who are experts in their craft, the ones who are looked upon for advice or for help. And so if you take advantage of that right now, and don't worry about the A or the B, actually learn the craft. Listen to what your professor is saying. Actually get into the book and read it for yourself, not just get the A. And I think that was my thing when I first got here. I just wanted to get an A. I didn't graduate with all A's, though.
So let's one more question, and there's a really good one, and I really appreciate this question from the students. They want to know, are any of you hiring? So that's a good, that's good for you. They would work for you, so or at least from one student. So there was a specific one to you. How did you overcome adversity to get where you're at?
To overcome adversities, honestly, just to make it plain and simple, it was my faith in God. I mean, my faith in God just allows me to feel like I can do whatever I want to do, and because I know that it's not my own doing, it's not my own will, it's God's divine will and purpose for my life. And I felt like coming here, leaving here, the path that I'm on right now, it's not anything that I orchestrated. It's something that God divinely orchestrated in my life, and so I'm grateful for that. And so, that's how I get through adversity. I always lean back on my faith.
Good. Final thoughts? Final thoughts from you guys? Want to say something?
Yeah,
this is where they get to kind of blabber and kind of say thank you.
All right. Final thoughts. First of all, I want to say I love this college. I speak about this college with great pride. I want to thank President Snyder, Dave Barrett, and all of those who had us back, and Matt Tobias, who I don't know if he's around right now, but I believe he nominated me, and I really appreciate him for this. But I want to thank all of you guys, the students, and my last parting words. And I know some of y'all asleep right now. I'm watching you sleep. You right there. Yeah. Wake up. Yeah. I know all the football players in the back like, man, I just want to play the game tomorrow. But my last parting words of this is that you can get there from here, and if you don't believe me, I'm a living testimony. You can get there from here. I know sometimes you look around at your surroundings, you look at yourself, and you might look at your situation or circumstance and think you can't. But I'm a living, walking testimony that you can get there from here.
I'm really pleased to be sharing this with Ryan and Dallas. I knew them as students when I worked here, and here we are. I'm impressed with what you both have accomplished, and I'm pleased to be with you today. Thank you to those who brought me here. Today I'm still a little bit astounded that I am here. But McPherson was always a very special place, and both as a student and working here, and I'm very glad to be an alum.
I guess final thoughts. After I left here, I went to California for graduate school and a couple schools there, and then to Europe for other school. And I've worked with a lot of universities, big universities, and looking back, there's really something I don't see at any of those places that I see at McPherson College, and feel so lucky and honored, and just privileged to have come here. And now to receive this award, which is amazing. I really thank you guys, and glad to be a part of this group. And I also wanted to take just a second and thank my family, my brother who's here today, my mother-in-law, my wife and children who couldn't be here today. They're back in Boston. and especially my mother, who came not just here today, but to every one of my basketball games, even the out-of-state ones, all through high school. I mean, she even came when I was playing in Switzerland sometimes. It's and to have that kind of support at a family level and at a university level is I'm greatly appreciative.
So these three will be outside in Friendship Hall, and encourage students, if you have an interest, you want to continue asking them questions, please do so. And they're going to be here through the weekend as well. This is a great time for me to remind you that we have lots of great alumni, and they want to help you out. And so it's at any point in your career here at McPherson College, you should always remember that there's somebody out there that was right here that's done something incredible like one of these three that want to help you in any way they can. So Ryan, Jenny, and Dallas, congratulations. Thank you.